Hello learners, welcome to the D.Ed program. I am Manju Jain, former head Department of Elementary NCERT. Today's topic is portfolio to record and report child progress. The focus of the present session is to discuss what is a portfolio, why do we need portfolio, kind of portfolios, what should be included in the portfolio, how to use portfolios to report the progress, how to maintain the portfolios in the classroom situation, and what caution should be kept while using the portfolio information. If you see the various kind of recording and reporting tools for the child's learning in the EVS, it could be of various nature like teacher's diary, rating scale, classroom observation, anecdotal records, and checklist and the portfolios. And the portfolio is a document which is used as a recording and reporting tool. Then what is a portfolio? Basically, portfolio is a recording and reporting tool for child progress. It is a compilation of child's work over a period of time. It is not a compilation work for a specific period, but the entire learning span used for reporting the child progress may be seen in the portfolio. It is an individual profile. Every child has the portfolio which is of individual in nature. It's a authentic data of child's work. It provides a authentic data of child's activities and the work compiled over a period of time. The portfolio provides holistic picture of child behavior. It is showing that the cognitive, affective and psychomotor behavior activity, how it has been presented and reported in a holistic manner. Why do we need portfolio? The question arises, why a EVS teacher or any teacher should maintain portfolio? Basically, it gives the authentic information for reporting. Also, it shows the objectivity in reporting. Many a time, parents are inquiring about the progress of the children. They wanted to see what the child has done over a period of time. So, teacher can easily be showing the activities done maybe in a month of July, maybe the month of August, which is the evidence for their learning. And also portfolio give the holistic picture of child behavior while showing the activities in an interactive manner, in a more compiled manner, like activities not shown in a piecemeal form. Why do we need portfolio? Again, the question arises, if we can see the progress of a child over a period of time, that helps to identify the learning gaps. It also helps to know the strength and gap areas. What are the strength and what are the gaps? If the strength are there, that will help the teacher to further strengthen the potential, and the gap areas will help to further improve that area in a more coordinated manner. Another thing is it facilitates to design and devise intervention. If the teacher is identifying the learning gap, it helps to design the intervention individually. Broadly, the portfolios are of two kinds. It is a concrete form and maybe in e-portfolios. Nowadays, teachers are maintaining e-portfolios because it's very easy to maintain and very easy to share with parents or elders, maybe at a one go, at a one time. And while the concrete form of portfolios are in the concrete hard form, and it is easily be kept in the classroom, but it has some limitation how to maintain the secrecy. What should be included in the portfolio? Basically, portfolio includes variety of activities, maybe child work, whatever child has done work individually, maybe the child has done activity in a group, or maybe the child done the activity beyond the classroom. So first we'll take the activities or actual work done by a child individually, which may include the sample of worksheets, maybe worksheet done during homework, during classwork, may be kept in the portfolio. Creative writings, the child's creative writing, maybe the poems, songs, some stories, some narratives shared by the child can be kept in the portfolio. Report on visit or activity. Whatever child has prepared report during some assignment on some work can be kept in the portfolio. Some test papers. Test paper may be quarterly papers. Test paper means maybe sometimes teacher take the monthly tests for the improvement of child's learning can be kept in the portfolio. Artwork and some craft work done by the child, maybe paper folding, some origami related activities, some creative greeting cards children are prepared during various occasions can be kept, and some assignments or projects done by the child maybe in a 1 quarter. Likewise, 3-4 projects, reports and assignment can be kept in the portfolio. What are the group work which we can keep in the folder? What should be included in the portfolio if the child has done work in the group? Like some projects they have done in the group, so the full details and the process followed by the group must be recorded in the portfolio. Performing work and craft work done by a group of children, sometimes during some occasions at the school level can be kept in the portfolio. Artwork, field visits and report of the total field visit may be kept in the portfolio with the full details of the name of the children included and the assignment given to each child. Beyond classroom activities can also be kept in the portfolio, like letters to friends and relatives written by child, drawing work at home, some drawing work during vacations or some drawing work done by group of children, maybe beyond classroom activity, may be kept in the portfolio. Creative cards, designing some rangolis, some other type of craft related activities may be kept in portfolio beyond classroom activity. What should be included in the portfolio? Another thing is collection of material like stamps, leaves, photographs. Photographs may be of some scientists they have collected, some leaders, maybe some freedom fighters. These can be kept. The work which has been done by a child may be kept it in the profile of the child. List of stories, books read by a child over a period of time, which helps a teacher to know the understanding of a child in a specific area. Stories, songs and any written material read by a child may be kept in portfolio. How to use portfolio to report the child progress? You know, it should include the work done by a child over a period of time. Portfolio is not just compilation of or irregular compilation of work. It is a logical, organized work done by a child over a period of time. And it is not always the best work done by a child, but hierarchy, what child has done in the month of maybe July, maybe work done some in the August. Likewise, the sample work may be kept in the portfolio. It takes into account the all aspects of child's activity. Some written work, maybe some artwork, some creative expression related activities should be used to report the child progress. It understands text of different subjects so as to communicate knowledge and ideas, because portfolio is a compilation of different subjects work. It's not the EVS portfolio. It should always be maintained as a child's total work in each level. So it helps a teacher what the task they have done in Hindi, whatever the activities, progress in the maths, that helps a teacher to link the subjects across the class as well as across the subjects. It helps to analyze work qualitatively. The qualitative remarks help teachers to know the strength and the weak areas, and it should be assessed at least 3 or 4 times in a year. How to maintain portfolio? This is another challenge for the teacher. It is easy to maintain subject wise. As I have already discussed, it should easy to maintain subject wise, but at the same time it will give the piecemeal kind of information. It should always be maintained class wise. That will give the total picture of child progress in each level, maybe class 3, maybe class 4. So it helps a teacher in planning as well. It should be kept in the classroom. That is an important document for teacher as well as children. If e-portfolio should also be very easily be accessible to all stakeholders. What caution should be kept while reporting child's progress? Actual work done by a child over a period of time must be taken into account. Should not consider only the best work of children. Take into account of qualitative and quantitative information, both kind of information. Maybe some test papers are there, maybe quantitative information be a part of the assessment. Some creative writing and some artwork, some craft work done by a child will give the qualitative information. So the assessment should include the qualitative and quantitative information of child's learning. It should not be biased in reporting. Many times teachers are not having information, full information, and sometimes it may create a situation of biased reporting. Along with grade, qualitative remarks always be a very, very healthy approach to report the child's learning, because it gives lot of space or scope for the parents to understand what a child can do, what a child cannot do. Strong points needs to be highlighted. Always what are the strengths of a child, what a child can do best, and that is always be highlighted in the beginning, what are the strength areas of children. And also weaknesses should also be reported, but it should not be in that manner, but in the form of some suggestion. What a child can do best if we can provide some inputs. What are the different ways through which you can provide the inputs, maybe at the home, at the school level, maybe at the parents level. How to make recording more effective? Assess the child's work during an activity. It should not be after the activity done by a child, but during the process when the child is doing activity, that time maybe assessment be done. Make a special efforts to write qualitative or descriptive remarks, or any interesting incident may be seen by the teacher must be reported in the report card or must be kept in the portfolio. Prepare a child's profile, soft or hard form maybe, and That profile should be very, very secret to maintain. Record regular observations of children to keep objectivity in reporting. It should not be done like in a 1 month you have observed the child's activity and in the next 3 months you are not doing observation. It should be continuous part of the learning. Keep sample work of children work in portfolio. It should not be many a times we have seen the portfolio is a big file of child's everything they have included in the child's portfolio. That should not be just that create a mess to the reporting purpose. Another reporting procedures is reflection of teachers on child's work. Reflection of teachers on child work. Always teacher must reflect what child has done, best work they have done, what child needs to improve the activities or areas, so that the reflection is a very important part of the child's improvement of learning. It also communicating progress with the child with suggestions. If the suggestions are given, it should be constructive in nature rather than some derogative remarks that will create sometimes children's emotional feelings may be hurt. Sharing child's progress with parents. The progress must be when you are reporting the parents, it must show some evidence, and the portfolio helps parents to maybe highlight what are the strength of the child, what can child best do if we will give inputs to a child. Teacher's own reflection on his work for enriching children's learning. It is also a document which helps teacher what are the areas in which teacher can improve, because sometimes it happens that most of the activities are not done by almost all children in the classroom. That gives a clue to the teacher what she is, whether she is undertaking age appropriate activities or not, and how she can then organize or revise the activities so that the age appropriate activities can be organized. So the tips for teachers, and so that she can make it happen best in the classroom. Clarity on why you are assessing a child. A teacher must be very clear what she mean by the assessment, whether this assessment is a formative, whether this assessment is summative, or this assessment is a kind of evaluation. So she must be very clear about the assessment procedures and the reporting procedures. Not labeling and comparing children. Sometimes it happens teachers are making groups in the classroom and labeled the A level children, B level children. It should not be reported in terms of the child A level, B level. It must definitely be a part of the report card, but it should not be in front of other children. You are A level and B level. So comparison is not the purpose of assessment. Purpose of assessment is improvement. Use variety of ways of assessment to get the holistic picture of child's performance. The variety of assessment, variety of techniques must be used by the teacher, like sometimes the observation techniques may be used, sometimes experimentation activities used to give the critical thinking. That way the performance, written and oral kind of techniques must be used by the teachers. Collection of information about the child should be objective. It should not be biased, as we have already discussed. This is a evidence-based learning, and for the evidence-based learning, teacher must be very objective. Another tips for teacher, that not to make negative statement. Teacher, if the children, definitely no two children are alike, And we also know that every child has their own pace of learning. It does not mean a child is good in mathematics, may not be very good in artwork. So the statement given by the teacher in the report should not be like he is very good in mathematics but very poor in artwork. For the gap areas, statement should be suggestive kind, should be constructive in nature. Observation and feedback remarks in a simple language. Sometimes the remarks or statement given in the report card is very maybe difficult in language, sometimes very difficult educational terminology, some psychological terms which we are using many a time. Parents are not easily understand. So it should be very simple to communicate to the masses, to the parents. Suggestions are always constructive for the children so as to parents take in a positive manner, and always maintain secrecy to keep the portfolio in a, should not be open document. It should maintain in a secret. It should be a individual child's document, should not be shared with other children. So in conclusion, summing up, we can say that portfolio is a best device for every teacher to review child's progress as well as to review oneself for further improvement to make the learning process lively and interesting, because the portfolio is that document which gives the child's progress over a period of time. It is a document in which we record the information objectively. It is a document which teacher uses to report the child progress while sharing with parents, as well as if child wanted to know what are the strength areas, what are my gap areas, that will support for child's learning. Thank you very much.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम
बनिए प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बहुत। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, हम अपना जीत स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन
घर बैठे पाएं राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय शिक्षा संस्थान यानी NIOS में एडमिशन, वो भी एकदम आसान तरीके से, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को होगी समय और धन दोनों की बचत। NIOS से शिक्षा कभी भी कहीं भी। शिक्षार्थियों, क्या आप जानते हैं NIOS में एडमिशन लेने का सरल और सुगम तरीका, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को ऑनलाइन प्रवेश लेने में सहूलियत मिलती है। NIOS में प्रवेश की प्रक्रिया पूर्णतया ऑनलाइन है। शिक्षार्थी घर बैठे इंटरनेट द्वारा प्रवेश के लिए सबसे पहले NIOS की वेबसाइट www.nios.ac.in पर लॉगिन करें। अपना ईमेल आईडी और पासवर्ड डालकर अपना पंजीकरण करें। पंजीकरण के बाद लॉगिन करने पर ऑनलाइन प्रवेश हेतु आवेदन पत्र खुलेगा। आवेदन पत्र को निर्देशानुसार भरें और प्रिंट आउट लें। इस प्रिंट आउट पर अपनी फोटो संलग्न करें। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश के लिए शुल्क हेतु भुगतान के तरीके हैं: क्रेडिट कार्ड के द्वारा, डेबिट कार्ड के द्वारा, राष्ट्रीयकृत बैंक के ड्राफ्ट के माध्यम से, जो कि सचिव NIOS नई दिल्ली या नोएडा के पक्ष में देय हो। भरे हुए आवेदन पत्र के साथ साथ डिमांड ड्राफ्ट और संलग्न किए जाने वाले दस्तावेज हैं: जन्म रजिस्ट्रार के जिला कार्यालय से जारी जन्म प्रमाण पत्र की सत्यापित प्रति, जिसमें जन्म तिथि अंकित हो, पिछले विद्यालय से प्राप्त विद्यालय छोड़ने का प्रमाण पत्र, जिसमें आवेदक की जन्म तिथि लिखी हो। प्रवेश फॉर्म का प्रिंट आउट NIOS के संबद्ध क्षेत्रीय केंद्रों पर 10 दिनों में पहुंच जाना चाहिए, अन्यथा उचित दस्तावेज न लगे होने पर आवेदन फॉर्म रद्द किया जा सकता है। प्रवेश प्रक्रिया की पुष्टि होने के बाद शिक्षार्थियों को परिचय पत्र व अध्ययन सामग्री डाक द्वारा तुरंत पहुंचाई जाती है। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश एक बहुत ही सुगम और सुविधाजनक प्रवेश प्रणाली है। ऑनलाइन ऑन टाइम फॉर सेफ एंड सिक्योर एडमिशन।